If you're an employee of Entergy, then you might be aware that they are now offering early retirement options. What this means is that you're able to take a lump sum payoff in lieu of your pension benefit, so you might be able to retire earlier than you may have originally planned. This can be a great benefit, but it also leaves many employees with big questions. While this is a great opportunity, this is a big step that you shouldn't take lightly. So some of the questions you probably have include: is a buyout right for me? Every family is different, and a buyout may be a perfect fit for one person, but maybe the timing just is a little bit off for another person. Or is the buyout enough to retire comfortably? And this is the biggest question. I've been receiving this one a lot lately, but this is the number one thing that we've been helping people to determine. You want to be sure that if you take the buyout, that you and your family are going to be okay, and I'll cover this more in depth later on. And then some people just have more logistical questions, such as how do I get income from the buyout? So, you're used to receiving a regular paycheck from Entergy once you retire. That all changes, of course. So how do you actually get the income from your buyout, and what's a reasonable amount to take, and where will that be coming from? Now, before I explain any further, if you're like me, I'm a very skeptical person by nature. So you're probably asking the question, why you listen to me? Why do you want to hear what I have to say on the matter? We'll say professionally speaking, I'm a 23-year veteran financial advisor. I'm also the CEO of Strong Tower Wealth Management in Hot Springs, Arkansas. So from a career perspective, this is what I do. I just love helping people to both plan for retirement and then also invest for retirement. I guess if I'm being honest, I'm just a major money nerd. I like doing this kind of thing, and people put me to work for them by crunching the numbers, making sure it's going to work out okay. Now, the interest I have specifically with Entergy comes from my own personal relationships. My father-in-law worked for Entergy starting as a teenager, worked all the way through retirement. And then I've got another close friend and actually a spiritual mentor of mine that was an engineer for Entergy for most of his life. And so I've had several connections over the years to Entergy. And in that process, I've become quite comfortable with how they operate, and then also their T. Rowe Price 401k platform as well. But really, in a nutshell, hopefully you'll listen to me because maybe I can add some value to the conversation and help you to feel comfortable with the big retirement decisions that you have to make. So really, in this short video, the ultimate goal, I hope to just share with you what it looks like if you were to work with one of our trusted advisors at Strong Tower Wealth Management. How can we help you? What tools do we have to help you make the best decision for you and your family? And how does the process equip you to confidently make your retirement decision? With all of our clients, not just Entergy employees, we use a similar formula for success. We call it the Strong Tower process. And this is how we interact with our clients. So we start by going through this thing that we call a discovery meeting. This is where we learn about your hopes, your goals, your dreams, and we try to answer the biggest financial questions that you have. You also learn about us, then the process that we use to help our clients. And this is where you're going to be able to determine if we're a good fit for you, but then also is your family a good fit for what we offer? We realize that there's no one size fits all in the financial planning, and so there needs to be a good win-win situation for us to work together. Now, assuming we are a good fit, then we move on to the next phase, which is the plan proposal. This is really where we roll up our sleeves and do the work. We develop a plan to make the most of your financial resources. This might include things like investment proposals, making sure you have the right investment mix to be able to retire comfortably. Biblical screens is another thing. We give our clients the ability to use investments that screen for their values. We can look at overall budget needs, such as their income. We look at retirement planning, of course. That's the number one thing that we'd be doing in your situation. If people have kids at home, of course, we'll do college savings. But if you have grandkids, you want to help see them go to college as well. Estate and legal needs, we can assist with that as far as getting you pointed in the right direction and help identify needs. Asset protection is always a big thing in retirement, and of course tax reduction. Do we want to keep taxes at a minimum if at all possible? But the bottom line is we look at your total financial picture when providing advice. Now, once we finally get together a plan that you absolutely love, then we move on to the next phase, which is executing the plan. Sometimes this is merely completing a few forms, such as maybe transferring your Entergy buyout to an IRA and maybe your 401k to an IRA. Other times, though, it might include a series of several steps taken over a period of several years, even up to 20 years, let's say, to fully maximize your potential. So it could be things like, when do you need to start taking Social Security income? When do you need to consider different insurance options? What about estate planning needs? And so it could be charted out over several years. The bottom line, though, is that we set up an action plan so that you can sleep well at night knowing that nothing's going to fall through the cracks. Now, once the plan is in place and we've taken the proper steps to execute, we're not done yet. That moves on to the review and adapt phase. As the phrase goes, the only thing that is constant is change, and so we're committed to you and your family for a lifetime. It's our job to meet with you regularly, to review your progress towards your goals, to adapt for any changes that have come up along the way. The bottom line is we're here for the long haul. Now, I'd also like to point out that this process is continual, so we're going right back to the discovery phase as well. This cycle just keeps on going because change is always taking place. So we're always in a mode of discovery. We're always making new plans. We're always executing new steps for you, and we're always reviewing and adapting along the way. I also like to point out that this entire process is built around you, your family, your hopes, your goals, your dreams, the things you want to accomplish, the retirement that you'd like to have. The whole process revolves around that as the centerpiece. And our hope is that going through this process, you're going to get two different things out of it. One is clarity of where you are today and clarity of where you want to be in the future. And then you also get empowerment, because if you know where you're at now and you know what it's going to take to get where you want to be in the future, that empowers you to make the necessary changes today to be successful in your finances. So now let me get a little more specific, like into your particular situation as an Entergy employee. Let me show you some of the things that you'll be faced with that we're going to help you with along the way. First is income needs. Part of our job is to help you determine what is the right amount of income that you need to strive for to meet your needs in retirement. That's going to be based on what your bills and expenses are each month. It's going to also include taxes to adjust for inflation as prices go up, insurance needs along the way, and then other goals that you might have. So if you like to travel during retirement, then we'll factor that in as well. We also want to help you choose the best time to begin drawing Social Security income. This is a very important part of the equation. If you take it at the wrong time, you may be really shooting yourself in the foot as far as your overall situation is concerned. So with many Entergy employees too, you're retiring maybe younger than what is considered typical, and so we have to plan this out. Is it better to take it at 62, 67, 70, somewhere in between? Our software can help you to make those decisions. We also want to help you decide whether or not you should move your 401k. So you've got two accounts that you can move from Entergy. One is your pension buyout, and you definitely want to move that to an IRA to make sure you avoid all taxes and penalties, and we can walk you through that. But then you've also got your T. Rowe Price 401k. And so that one, whether or not you move it, it depends on your unique situation, and we'll help advise you there. Sometimes we recommend moving all of it, sometimes we recommend just a portion of it, and sometimes we recommend moving none of it. It all depends on when you're going to retire, at what ages, and what your needs are during that period of time. Now, we're also going to help you set different what we call burn phases for your retirement income. So if you're familiar with a space shuttle taking off and returning, there's different burn phases where it uses different amounts of fuel at different stages along the trip. And the same might be true with your retirement income. So you may burn through more income in the early years, so you can cover things like health insurance costs and Social Security income that hasn't kicked in yet. But then you may burn through a different amount when you reach age 65, or maybe when your spouse reaches age 65. So all these are going to be different burn phases for your income needs, and you have to plan for these extremely carefully using a cash flow retirement plan analysis. And to top it all off, we also like to walk you through what's called a stress test. This is done to be sure that you're prepared for the what-ifs of life. We want you to make sure that you're comfortable in retirement regardless of situations that could pop up. So for example, what if taxes go up? Or what if inflation ends up being higher than expected? Or what if the stock market takes a big hit? Our software can help you to prepare for all these types of scenarios so that we can steer you towards a retirement that you feel good about. It's also worth pointing out that we leverage technology to make this an interactive experience for you. For example, once we have your plan in place, you can actually log in to your home computer or on your smartphone and see your financial plan. You can even pull the levers, so to speak. So as an example, maybe you want to see what it looks like if you retire a year later or maybe a year earlier. Well, fine, you can do that. Or what if you take Social Security at an earlier age? The idea is you can pull those levers, you can move those sliders to adjust what you want to see in the scenario, and then in real time, all the forecasts change immediately so you can see the end results. But it's great technology to help you feel comfortable with your retirement. This is our core team at Strong Tower Wealth Management at our home office. And likely, maybe a next logical question is, what do we get out of it? How are we compensated for the work that we do? And I like to be very transparent about that. In fact, I love that we are what's called a fee-only business that works as trusted advisors to our clients. We do not offer any commission sales products, which can lead to bias or a conflict of interest. We are paid a management fee from your investment accounts that we manage for you. The fee varies depending on the work involved or the assets that we manage, but it's typically around 1% per year of your invested balance, which is a typical industry standard. That fee is transparent. It covers everything. So this also covers all of your investment management. It covers the retirement planning process, which includes, of course, the tax reduction and the cash flow analysis, net worth analysis, making sure that you're on track for what you want. It also covers trading costs. A lot of firms do not cover the trading costs. That's something they pass on to the client. We cover those for you. And it covers all the ongoing adjustments that we need to make to your financial plan. What's even better about being a fee-based firm is that we actually have a fiduciary responsibility to our clients. What that is a heightened duty, a heightened responsibility. That means we must put your interests, our clients' interests, above our own. That doesn't exist on your typical old school Wall Street commission-based firms. As a fee-only firm, as a fiduciary, we have a heightened responsibility to put you first. And the bottom line is our firm is set up to serve you as trusted advisors. So if you'd like to know more, if you think it would be in your best interest to work with one of our advisors, then reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you. All we have to do is set up what we called earlier that discovery meeting. That helps us to get to know you better and you to know us, and we can determine if we're a good fit for one another. So you can call us 501-623-1141. Feel free to email me, todd@strongtowerwealth.com. Or you can visit our website, strongtowerwealth.com, to learn more about us and what we offer. And while you're on the website, you can click the Contact Us page and schedule an appointment right there from the website. That's all for now. Thank you for your time and for the opportunity to earn your family's business. I really think you'll enjoy working with us at Strong Tower.